What's up, folks? I'm Private Hudson, and I don't believe it. They actually finished the Black Masses. After over 2 years of radio silence following their announcement that they've halted development back in April 2022, they pushed out version 1.0 out of nowhere. No one expected it, I sure as hell didn't, but I'm excited. Not only do these patch notes state they've completed the rest of the map and the quest line, but they've also delivered some improvements to the FRAMERATEs. If you saw my original video on this game, which was the last time they patched it back in 2021, then you know that the low frame rate was a big issue for me. I did a test in Kirkwall changing graphical settings from potato quality to ultra, and there was little to no difference in the frame rate. So I'm excited. Let's do a similar test again. Let me load up my old save game. Now my CPU is still the same, the old but faithful AMD 3900X. I'm still rocking 32 gigs of RAM. The only difference with my rig is I now have an RTX 4080 instead of a 3090. I don't think that should make any difference though, as the game was poorly coded in terms of multi-threading. So my old save loads me back up in Midridge, and for whatever reason the Queen's 2 guards are missing, but whatever, let's do a frame rate test here. The game still runs like shit with very little performance difference between the settings. Now again, back in my original video, I took screenshots from a little argument I had with the devs on the Steam forums. They claimed my CPU was the issue and that the game runs perfectly fine for them. You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why the game runs like crap for me, because of my CPU, even though other users with different hardware than me reported having the same issues with the frame rate. The frame rate. Well, guess what, fuckers? I have a gaming laptop with an Intel CPU, an i5, 16 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 3070, a completely different system. And since this game was coded so well that it doesn't support cloud saves, I installed it on my laptop and started a new game. Note, the laptop is limited to 1080p, so this footage might be a bit grainy, and guess what? It still runs like complete and fucking dog shit. The draw distance is abysmal, the game still stutters every 5 to 10 seconds. Hell, I put the fucking settings to Nintendo Switch quality by lowering the resolution to 640 by 480 and running in potato mode, and it still stuttered and failed to hit 60 frames per second. So what now, devs? What now? Can't blame my fucking 3900X anymore, can ya? What's the fucking excuse now other than your fucking incompetence? It doesn't matter if there's nothing on the screen or if there are thousands of zombies mauling you. The frame rate... Sorry, I keep saying frame rate. The patch notes say frame rate. Well, the frame rate rarely goes above 45. But hey, shitty frame rate aside, let's focus on the rest of the game. Let's go revisit Rierfall. I mentioned in my first video how none of the houses had furniture in it. Surely they must have added it now that this is a finished game, right? Still missing, huh? What about getting stuck on the step in the second tower? Surely that should be fixed, right? No? Still not fixed? What about the tree that spawned like right inside the door of one of the safe zones? That should be fixed, right? Right? Jesus fucking Christ on a pogo stick. They didn't fix jack fucking shit. Don't tell me they just added a new section of the map with the same copy-pasted buildings and called it a day. Take a wild guess. And they somehow managed to make the game even buggier. Here's me jumping through the roof of a building in the new section of the map. And of course, the interior of this new building is devoid of furniture, because why wouldn't it be? At another point, I get stuck somewhere and the game just fucking dies on me. If you really want to know what this game is about, go watch my early access video, at least the first 10 minutes of it, because I don't like repeating myself and nothing has fundamentally changed. That video also includes the most hilarious video game sequence of all time. As a brief summary, you wake up shipwrecked on an island where everyone drank some magic Kool-Aid. However, unlike Jonestown, these people were turned into zombies. Some mystical being has you going around towers, collecting his body parts in order to restore order. There are a small handful of NPCs and a couple of journals scattered around that give you quests and a little bit of backstory. These are still full of spelling and grammatical errors, just like the patch notes. Gameplay still revolves around sitting on top of elevated ground where zombies can't get you and spinning your sword around. 90% of the items are still useless other than throwables, repair kits, and potions. The inventory still has placeholders for things that don't exist such as armor, alchemy, sneaking, and crafting. Just to make sure I wasn't missing out on anything, I started a new game from scratch. That's right, I started a new game and played it from start to finish instead of continuing my old save. The only new quest I encountered in the game's previous areas of the map was sometime after either the first or second tower, I got a quest to get the best weapon in the game, the Divine Greatsword. I guess this was sort of a secret before, but its spawn location hasn't changed, and getting it this early on means no other melee weapon in the game is worth using. Well, joke's on the game, as getting the sword was one of the first things I did, so I already had it. No new weapons were added other than a stupid secret one in the new location. Weapons still have the same exact attack animation as every single, they're all fucking identical. And some of them still use the same exact models. Most of the terrain hopping glitches are still there, and the strategies to cheese the bosses in the past still work too. Like this one for the third tower, where you just run around, climb up on a thing, you just sit on top and you just shoot them. You just chill. And I bypassed the entire horde of the fourth tower again by glitching through some terrain and climbing it from the back, just like I did last time. The only thing they did was remove the level cap, redo the skill tree, and change zombie AI slightly. Black Masses is even easier now as leveling up is faster. You have agility, strength, and endurance skill trees, and you level them up by using ranged weapons or parkour skills, using melee weapons, and getting your ass kicked, respectively. Earning enough points into a stat allows you to go further into the tree, the majority of which are passives like more stamina, more damage, more health. It's not very interesting. There's also a dark arts tree that you level up by killing zombies. It doesn't do much other than give you lifesteal. Supposedly there's a portal skill further down this tree. Well, I unlocked it, I tried using it, and it didn't fucking work. So yeah, that's broken. Honestly, there isn't much of a point in discussing the skill tree further. Once you unlock the spinning melee fire attack and you got the Divine Greatsword, you've essentially beaten the game. Sit on a fence, press right click, level up. Rinse and repeat until you clear the area and move on to the next one. Oh, as for the change in zombie AI, now during a horde frenzy, they start jumping up and down like a coked out Elon Musk at a Trump rally. Other than that, I've witnessed hordes run in entirely different directions, sometimes even away from me. So much for improved pathfinding. The newest area of the game, the Northern Island, is the laziest addition yet. There are only 2 areas worth exploring, a small town and a prison. The rest of the map is barren. Random terrain with random hordes of zombies and demons scattered about. They've gotten even lazier to the point where potions clip through loot locations. So they're stuck through tables, or they're sticking in the through the ground in the middle of chests. It's really fucking amateur hour at this point. Honestly, I'm just pissed off. My early access assessment was fair, and I was cautiously positive, and I believe I ended the video saying something along the lines of, you know what, if they never finish the game, I can't really complain. Although it's janky and broken, there's nothing else quite like it, and I had a lot of fun. Well, you know what? They should not have finished it. They should have just left it the way it was. They should have abandoned it. Seriously, I'd rather have an abandoned product and let my imagination forever wonder what could have been. What could have been? What could the game be if it were ever done? I would rather have that thought in my head for the rest of my life than getting this piece of shit with the dev saying, "Job's done." This work could not have taken more than a month. The same bugs that existed 4 to 5 years ago are there. The same spelling errors, grammatical mistakes are still there. The same performance issues, stuttering, poor draw distance are there. Nothing has changed, other than reworking the skill tree and the addition of a new location, which is by far the worst one. Honestly, Fuck this game. It's a steaming pile of broken shit. Brilliant Game Studios my ass. They should change the name of their team to Incompetent Game Studios or Dogshit Game Studios. Either one of those would be way more fitting. I'm Private Hudson. I'm updating my Steam review of this game to a -1, and I'm off to hopefully play something better than this tripe. Hey, on the bright side, I think this is the first time I'm actually covering an early access game that's out of early access. That's considered full release. So, first time for everything. I should do that more often.